So this is interesting. And this for this last You Change the World of 2025. I want to get to a title I gave myself when I started my account on LinkedIn. Believe it or not, I called myself Chief Humanization Officer. So I need to be a chief of something because I was already the chief executive officer of my company. But I said, what's my focus? What my title could convey to the LinkedIn audience out there? And really, being a coach, an executive coach, a leadership development coach, a mediator, and a consultant, I definitely focus on human beings. And when this AI became an obsession, and that's all you see going on in any kind of publication, any articles, any posting, anything, including myself, AI, AI, AI. And when it was, the era of Apple iPhone, and then this model and that model, and then it was the iWatch, and it was, a new technology. It's how it works. When things are transformational, revolutionary, there's nothing wrong that they become the top of, and the hit and the hottest title of anything that you see out there. But you have to be cautious. We have to keep ourselves, sane and in control of our mind. I just didn't know back then when I called myself Chief Humanization Officer, but I just want to tell you that my mind is not on AI. AI is just a tool, like any tool. And I'm going to use, and I already use AI to some extent, and I will use AI again because it's a tool that makes me and makes you do things maybe more precisely, faster. I'm very hopeful and very big advocate of AI for the healthcare industry and for doctors and for surgeries. I think that is going to really be revolutionary and bring a lot of good things, and maybe for diagnosis and for all the things that have to do with healthcare, because accessing data almost simultaneously as soon as the query is done is amazing. And then, especially going to the right data, and the more it's going to be used and trained, and the more precise it's going to be. And then all those automated functions for healthcare or even for procurement. I mean, Amazon was already very automated, I'm sure, in their warehouses, but for sure, AI is going to make it even better. Better distribution, and again, accuracy, not personalization so much, but accuracy. And you'll get what you want, and you'll get the right answer when it's not influenced by an external agenda. Okay? Because when it comes to news, when it comes to all of that, I've been completely turned off when I saw, excuse me, those famous faces talking on video, especially YouTube, and being transformed for being moving their lips and saying things that they were not saying. And that's the thing that turned me completely off. This was really the embodiment of fake news. I mean, when someone speaks like me now and is talking to you, and you cannot trust that it's me talking to you, that's the end of it, right? That's the end of it. I only can only do one thing, is now go back to meet you in person. And that's it. That's the only way I'm going to really find out that I'm talking to you and you're answering back to me. But if there is a but in between that can transform what I say, that's really, amazing. The first one I saw was, in fact, President Trump addressing the audience saying, I want your attention, like very official, very formal, and you have to stop everything you do, and then you have to just now focus on your screen because I'm talking to you and have a very important, crucial information to share. This was not Trump, obviously not. That's not the way he talks. So immediately I was amazed because it was him behind the desk in the Oval Office speaking out to you straight in your eyes. Same with Elon Musk. He's very used for this kind of things as well. So he's going to give all kind of information of an upcoming phone coming up that will compete with iPhone. Maybe it's on his drawing board, but I don't think it's going to come out very soon. And it's not him. It's again a script that has been written by an external agenda. I call it agenda instead of people, but it's hacking. It's a total scam, and because of scams becoming almost a habit of the day. The number of emails you receive, messages you receive on LinkedIn that are scams after scams, you start, losing automatically and naturally trust and confidence. The problem is like this: trust, but confidence you have for yourself that you are truth to yourself. You want truth. You want authenticity. If this is what you want in life, be careful. I'm starting to remove all those different apps that are on my phone that now starts to very much show me that there is an algorithm of lies, an algorithm of twisted information, and it's hacking after hacking situations, scams after scams. And I become skeptical. I never thought, not, not forgetting that, I have values and I want to stick to them, right? So we have to be very careful. That's what here on LinkedIn, on Facebook, on YouTube, where you see me now, or on X, Twitter. I think this is me speaking to you. Hopefully, nobody's going to use my image and my lips to tell you something else. But what you hear now, if this is me, I authentically attest that it is me. Now, let me go back to the humanization theme. It's very important because I really want to end the year with that. And I've been thinking about some deeper and far more powerful human intelligence. Because the truth is, you got the word artificial intelligence there. And that's the most honest statement of AI that I've seen. Just by its name, it's artificial. Like you have synthetic clothing, material, clothing, fabrics that will not feel like cotton or wool, right? It's artificial. When you artificial flavor, it doesn't really feel like a strawberry or a blueberry or vanilla. It is an artificial taste of that. If it is perfume or fragrance and it's artificial and synthetic, it's not going to smell the same way. It's going to be totally a different experience. So what I mean here is that I'm a lover of craftsmanship. That's the best example I can tell you about human beings and humanization. People are thirsty, and if not starving today, for authentic touch and authentic experiences. That's really what it is. I think the experience that you can have still today is to go to the restaurant and have real food, on your plate, and a chef behind in the kitchen with a crew, and talent, and eventually art if it's culinary art, and if you are in a starred restaurant or really very top restaurant where the chef is sincerely, playing his art, passionate, and give you something in the plate that you can really feel as a new experience that is human, that is authentic, that is natural. And there's so many people who love nature, who love, authenticity. That's why I think that's where we're going. That's the direction we're taking. And I think that the AI is an accelerator of that because people get fatigue of being manipulated or being always dealing with an artificial tool. You can use it as a tool as much as you use a toothbrush. You don't have to use it all day long, right? And AI is just an instrument. And AI is all of that, but we just have to be really aware and stay connected to our core. Very important. So we spent 2025 talking about speed, automation, scale, but the real edge in 26 won't be what moves fastest. I think it will be what moves people, what moves human beings. That's when 26 is going to appear to be an interesting transitional year. That's my prediction because of the people I deal with, that I talk to, that people are really, really in big thirst and again, starving of authenticity, natural things. AI will take tasks, but humans will always take meaning. And meaning is where leadership begins, because that's how you're going to be meaningful, and that's how you're going to bring your leadership to the next level for all the people and stakeholders that are around you that you're interacting with. Because it's about communication and good communication. It's about your presence, your own, authentically, and it's about your own voice. Your mind speaks to me. Your mind speaks to them, and it is what it is. It's not AI. Lastly, I want to also say that you can train a model to predict. You can, but you can't train that model to care, right? That's another angle that I was thinking in, because care is still the most disruptive force in the world. When people care, it's exceptional. And care builds trust, builds relationships, builds feelings, love from people to each other. That's what's really has been created from the very beginning of the world and will end with the end of the world, but will not be disrupted. So this is, I think, my big hope, my big faith that things are going to be staying very authentic and very increasing that way, because I think that as fast as all of this is going, I think it's also the speed of realization that people really need to be reconnected to themselves and to other human beings. So reclaim your humanization. I reclaim my Chief Humanization Officer title because I wrote that on my profile years ago. And it was maybe a provocation because for 26, that's what's going to be my focus. Through what I do, through what I talk about, and through what I would like to inspire people to talk about. Let's see also another point. I said I'm a mediator. I do a little bit less mediation than I used to, but when I do mediation, I can't use AI for that. I have two people in a big dispute, and if it's a divorce case, unfortunately, there is many of those. It's heartbreaking. It's something that is very sensitive. I take my position of mediator as an honor, as a privilege, that I can listen to both parties and participate to have them come to an agreement, and to an agreement that does not necessarily make them feel they won against each other, but they had a fair outcome. And that's really what the goal of mediation is, of in fact, all conflict is. It doesn't have to be winning over the other. It's not a win and lose situation, because when it is, it's totally subjective and already biased. So I think that it's another lesson I learned from mediation that I brought to coaching and coaching to mediation, because communication is key. And when those different parties that are in dispute communicate better, I think there's a hope, and a big one, because mediation is a volunteer process. Each party wants to mediate. Because of that reason, we are already in a good ground, a positive ground. Why do I bring mediation? Because that too is not something that can work with AI. AI can bring data, can compare a situation to another situation, but cannot resolve it. So this is very important. And you see that with other type of mediation, very critical today for peace, when different countries play the mediator's role. Some play it really, some plays with a bias. So you can see it with your own eyes, hopefully with your own judgment, and that it's a positive judgment. But anyway, I would like to offer for this new year a practical invitation. And that's the question for all of us as we step into 2026. What part of humanity have you been outsourcing? And what happens when you take it back? That's the question I would like you to ask yourself. I repeat that question. What part of your humanity have you been outsourcing? And what happens when you take it back? In any kind of capacity you have, personal or professional. And then technology expands, and it continue to expand and will continue to do that. And it will also fuel the economy to a very large extent. But humanity expands, and it expands our impact that we have on each other, on leadership especially. Both matter, but only one changes the world. And that's the humanization one, part of it. So please go back to your human side of yourself, to your capacity as human beings. And I wish you for 2026 a wonderful year of peace, of good health, and of really staying the beautiful human beings that you are, and emulate that, flourish with your humanity. And this way, you're going to see the world will be a very healthy and a growing world. Otherwise, we're going to stagnate. We're going to be completely paralyzed into something that is not us, because it's artificial intelligence and not authentic intelligence, human intelligence. I trust that one very much. Take care. and Happy New Year.